Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is going to be American Horror Story Freak Show Episode 2. Okay. So, there's a whole lot to get through, so we're just going to go ahead and jump in. Alright, so, the town has basically just had enough. The town is getting all up in arms and everything like that because there's all these back-to-back murders. And they're actually talking about putting the town on a curfew. Because when night falls, shit's just going crazy. But really, it's happening before then. You know my favorite character, that goddamn clown. Can't stand that motherfucker. But that clown, he done went up into this toy store. And it's like a toy store and it's like a variety store, but more so geared toward children and things like that. He done went up in the store. Little boy comes in and he's like, Mr. Whatever your name is. He's like, I got your coffee, this, that, thing, the other. You know, we've seen it before. Little trickle or trail of blood. Leads it all the way back. At one point, he's like literally walking around following this trail of blood. You know, I wouldn't do the shit. I've been fucking gone. But he walks past these big life-size clowns and they're mannequins with clown outfits on it. Well, you know, the one standing in the middle, dirty and funky and trifling and crazy looking, is that fucking clown. And he's standing up there, and the little boy, and I keep saying little boy, he had to be probably in his 20s. Little young man. The trail leads him to the man who, store it was, head was cut off and sitting up on the shelf. And as he's standing there looking at it, the clown decides to Jason Voorhees him. He jumps down and comes up and in the back. Horrible. Horrible. I cannot stand that damn clown. I'm telling you, I can't. I can't. And I'm down for scary shit, but I just don't like that clown. I just don't care for him. He's doing the slasher thing, and I don't really care for the slasher thing. I'll do the Freddy Kruegers and all that. And all that devil worship and the voodoo and all that. I just cannot stand slashers. Like, I don't do the Michael Myers and the Jasons. And I just can't stand it. Fuck that clown. He's horrible. But anyway. So, he done balled him up and went on about his business. Then we go back and we're seeing the weird family, the woman, the rich woman, and the little boy. His name is actually Dandy, not Danny, Dandy. And he is just motherfucking Jim Dandy. He's a hot mess, but he's really, really weird. And we see them at their house. They're at this big old long ass table, just rich for no reason. And child, just money. And he's just miserable. Miserable with everything about his life. And I kept saying, I knew we were going to go see some more into their story. She's sitting down there doing everything to try to appease him. They're having escargot. And he's giving very much of, when the maid comes out, it's Patti LaBelle, my girl, Annie. Patti LaBelle. And I said, really? Really, y'all? Where the fuck do the maid be that motherfucking beat? Patty's makeup was given poof, poof, poof. She should be up there with Irma. Yeah, she should be over there with that Irma, Elsa. Because she is so goddamn dusted. But anyway, Patty's the maid. She lays down. He's looking at the plate going to say, snails. And Patty's like, it's what you asked for. You know, she's still just being Patti LaBelle. And then she's like, that little boy is getting on my nerves. You know, and she goes on with herself. But here, he's fussing. He just fusses all the time about how unhappy he is. Then the little bastard is drinking goddamn liquor out of a crystal baby bottle. Ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And the more they go on, we find out he has killed a girl and gotten away with it. You know, the prestige and his mom's connection he got away with whatever he did to this girl. And Patti LaBelle said to his mother at one point, you know, the neighbors are complaining about their cats and things missing, and I'm finding teeth and little furry things that are dead again. You know, all of those symptoms are the symptoms of a serial killer. So that was that whole thing. Okay, let's go. I'm going to get rid of the clown. I'm going to go through and get rid of all the clown shit because I'm sick of the clown. So right then I said, okay, this is what his motherfucking problem is. He has all the symptoms of a goddamn serial killer. And when you look at him, he really does. He has the look to be able to draw them in. If he's not acting weird, he's like an aristocrat. He could actually draw girls in and fucking do them in. And I believe he's a little twisty at the waist and a little light in the loafers as well. So naturally, you know, he's not going to admit to that. I think he has all those types of things going on. And he's just angry and fucking crazy. He's a fucking nutball. He's cuckoo. So anyway, at some point, the mother, because he runs out and leaves. And she's like, oh, I hate it when you leave because something ghastly always happens. Her and her little killer, ain't he? So she's riding, and don't you know, she sees this clown. And I don't see how nobody has seen this fucked up clown walking around during the day. But anyway, she sees the clown, rolls up to him and says, you know, do you do private parties? This, that, thing, and the other. This crazy whore takes the clown back to their house. And then when the boy comes through, he's still going on this rant about how he hates everything. His mom's like, I got you something, Dandy. Come with me. Come on, I got you something. She sends the little bastard back in the room and says, I got you your own clown, baby. And she shut the door behind her. So I'm thinking, oh, fucking shit. Now, if that bitch is crazy and she don't see that this ain't no good idea, I thought surely Dandy's little punk ass would have seen it. But he goes in and he's trying to play with the clown and trying to entertain the clown. That got on the clown's last nerve, okay, with his corny shit. He tried to do a puppet show. The clown was giving girl bye. So he's sitting there, and where Dandy went wrong, he wants to go in the clown's bag. The clown's like, He pulled his bag. He wouldn't let him go in the bag. Dandy sidetracked and was like, here, pick a toy. So he pulls up all his toy. And when he picks up, when the clown goes to the toys, Dandy's nappy ass goes into the bag. And in the bag, he found them scissors that he be killing folks with or whatever those are, the metal things. It's all rusted. And he found, you know, one of the, you know, he took out one of them little, his little juggling pins. And then the man, he took the man's head from the damn store. And it's in the bag. So Dandy's like, okay. And at that point, the clown had noticed that Dandy was in his bag. He took one of them motherfucking juggling pins and gave Dandy right in the back of the head. In the back of his motherfucking head, knocked his ass out. But he was, he wasn't out but a second, and you heard him moan a little bit, and the clown grabbed his bag of shit and he rolled out. Well, baby, Dandy sat up like, oh, is that how we playing? No problem. And he went on about his business. The clown goes on home. Dandy follows the motherfucking clown back to that fucking trailer that he's in. Meanwhile, in the trailer, the girl and the little boy were trying to get out. She done broke a piece of wood off and puts it to the side. The clown comes in, you know, they're in the thing. The little girl had already told the little boy, be ready to run. We're going to fuck up out of here. So he gets in the cage with them. He got the little robot, because there was a little robot that was dragging the trail of blood in the toy store. He brings the robot back to entertain a little boy. And then, for whatever reason, see, because the clown's fucking crazy. I can't deal with that clown. That clown decided, I guess he thought that head was going to be funny or something. But he pulls that fucking head out that bag, and the girl and the boy are screaming, ooh, shit. And she took that motherfucking wooden board with that nail in it and gave his ass clack, clack. And they jumped up and they ran. They was hauling ass out of that motherfucker, that little boy and that girl. And the stupid thing is they split up. As soon as they ran out, the little boy went one way and the girl went the other. Well, the girl, she ends up running, and Jim Dandy then followed the damn clown. She flying. She runs into Dandy, rather. And she's trying to explain to him, the clown's a killer. You got to help me. We got to get out of here. Blah, 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 blah. And then you hear the little boy scream. The clown done caught the little boy. Got him. So as he's coming back, Dandy snatches the girl up and throws her over his shoulder and screaming, taking her back. She's like, no, 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 he's a killer. And he's like, clown, clown, look what I got. Goes over to her, they walk over to the thing, and then he tells the clown, now, if we're going to play and have any fun, you're going to have to be better at containment. And they both go up in the trailer. So here we go. Now, as if the motherfucking clown wasn't bad enough, now we got this goddamn psycho fucking regular serial killer and a goddamn serial killer clown. They're doing too much. Y'all are just giving me too much. I don't need no 2 serial killers, but that's what we got. Baby, they went on up in the little thing, and we ain't seen no more from none of the 4 of them. So I guess next week we'll hear some more about them. Whew, just a damn mess. Okay, so moving on. What's going on back at the tents? Okay, so at the tents, you know, Jimmy was having a time. Jimmy's just going through. Jimmy Darling. That's what I'm talking about. Little cute Jimmy with the pussy claw hand. Jimmy's having a time, and he's like, you know, we are not freaks. We are regular people, and maybe once the people out there meet us, they'll welcome us. They'll be okay with us. Once they know us, they'll know that we're just regular, just like them. So he's going through all that. Then they have his mother's out there, Kathy Bates, the bearded bitch. She's out there, and there's this truck or whatever that pulls up. It's a trailer and a car pulls up, and she's like, they said, well, what's wrong? And she's like, no, that's somebody I used to know. And she's like, oh my gosh. So anyway, here it ends up being a strong man, like a circus strong man. And he gets out, goes up to Elsa's tent, and they speak and everything, and they present themselves. And out of there comes our girl, Angela Bassett. She comes marching on out. The bitch is clean. She's this really pretty red dress, and she's done. Literally done. Bitch looked like a movie star. And she had this badass fur cape. I'm like, okay, hair done. She was just done. Bitch is done. They go in there. She's kind of walking around Elsa's tent like, this is okay. And she said, I hope this is just a pit stop. I hope this is not where we're trying to stay. So, you know, I was living for her already because she was just too bitchy. So I was living for her. The strong man's going on telling, you know, Elsa where they came from. You might have heard of me, blah, 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 blah. Well, so we know that Elsa, and I didn't put this in my last video, and one of my wonderful people who follow me actually put me down with the fact I missed that Elsa actually is a freak too. Her limbs at the bottom came off. I missed that last week. So thank you so much for pointing that out to me. You know, I depend on you guys to keep me up, because if I miss it, somebody say something. I'm not one that gets offended. I need to know so we can stay on track, because if I'm not on track, then I'm fucking it up for y'all. But thank you so much, lovely people. He put me down. Y'all put me down with it. So now I know Elsa's a freak too. I was too busy trying to figure out how in the fuck does she always know somebody's background story. So I'm kind of convinced that Elsa is a seer, that she could see into your soul some kind of way, and a reader, because she had asked to see his hands and this, that, thing, and the other. But anyway, she knew right away, you know, because what she did was, she said, well, what's so special about her? You know, it's talking about Angela Bassett. Baby Angela come up out of her fur cape, baby, and it was just, she's topless. It was a red skirt. It wasn't even a dress. It was a skirt, a high-waisted skirt. This bitch got 3 titties, 2 on the side, 1 in the middle. The bitch had her to have pasties on them, gold pasties on the nipples of all 3 titties. And she's going on, baby, and she's giving, yes, bitch, I turns it. She said, yeah, I got 3 titties, and I'm a full hermaphrodite. So that bitch has really got it going on. She could do a juggling act of her own. That bitch got 3 titties, a dick, a pussy, and some bullshit. Hot mess. Goddamn. So anyway, she sees into them, and they show us what happened, the footage. 3 weeks prior, Angela's a hoe too. Angela, the strong man is approaching the tent or wherever they were staying at the last place they were, and there's these 2 little gay guys out front, and he's like, what are you 2 fruits doing out here? And they're saying, we're waiting on our friend because he thinks that he could change his shit around. So they go ahead, he goes in, he walks in, he catches the friend is in there fucking Angela. Now, he's just as happy with himself. Her top wasn't done. The little guy, he was gay, and that was all it was. You know, back then, they used to think that there was these miracle ways to get rid of your homosexuality. So I guess he felt like screwing the hermaphrodite would actually change him or whatever. You know, they were crazy back then in the early 50s. So he's in there fucking her baby, and he's giving, oh, you mean I could actually do this with a woman and really enjoy it? So I got a little confused again, because I didn't know, was he sampling in the dark arts at that point, or was he screwing her in her coot? Or I don't know. I didn't know which box he was in. But anyway, she sure enough asked him, do you want me to use my extra special stuff to really make you come? I said, oh, girl, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It was just too much. But anyway, he didn't get the chance to come because he went, baby. Because the strong man said, that's my wife. Grabbed that motherfucker up by the bottoms of his ears and twisted his whole motherfucking head around. So he didn't end up coming. He ended up going. So that was that. So that's where they were. This hoe was tricking, got caught. The man killed them, so now they was on the run. So that's what all went down with them. Anyway, so moving on. The strong man basically then created all kind of turmoil. Back at the camp, they had decided, because Jimmy was going through so much self-consciously about killing the detective, they ended up digging the body back up. And the strong man didn't know anything about all that at the point where they dig him up, and they decided they were going to burn the body parts to really get rid of it, because the townspeople were really like wanting to get out there. They keep coming out there and kind of, bothering them. So anyhow, they've set up this curfew. So, that's going to kill the business, because anybody who comes to the freak show comes at night. So they go through a whole little thing. The strong man basically is a jerk, and he ends up really like taking over. He's like coming and he's taking over is what he's doing. We found out in the midst of all this, the strong man is actually Jimmy Darling's father. He used to screw around with the bearded woman, and that's where I guess Jimmy's strength comes from. But when they go back to their background story, him and the bearded woman, he actually was going to kill the baby. When Jimmy was just a baby, he's like, I'm doing you a favor, kid. Anybody coming into this world all fucked up like this, he was going to kill him, baby. And the bearded woman put a shotgun in his face and told him, you get out of here, I don't want to see you no more, and you stay the fuck away from my boy. When he came there, she went up on him and told him, don't you say a thing to my boy, and you stay the fuck away from my boy. So anyway, he's trying to take over. Elsa had already said, she don't want flowers and shit. You can't do all that. A freak show is supposed to be a freak show. It's supposed to be mysterious. It's supposed to be held at night. It's supposed to be really exotic, and people don't know what it is. So no, we can't go out into the town and be hanging out with the locals. Then we're not, that freaky anymore, and it doesn't make any difference, and we're not going to make any money. So anyway, strong man's down in town putting up flyers and shit, just like Elsa said not to, because he's just an asshole. He's like really like a manly man asshole, and he just doesn't listen. He was just trying to fucking take over. So Jimmy really went far out, took the freaks on down to the restaurant. So they're all in the restaurant. They went down to eat, because he swears that if the people get to meet him, they'll think that they're normal, and they'll know that they're just like everybody else. Child, the folks was leaving the restaurant, honey, and then the folks got to acting ignorant. The woman going to ask them, she said, can y'all go somewhere else to eat? Because my daughter, y'all are bothering my daughter. The little bitch was sitting over there with her face all tuned up. I said, see this? This is how prejudice is born. Because the little girl, bitch, it's the circus. The circus is in town, bitch. But no, the little girl was looking like, But again, that's how we teach our kids prejudice. Fucked up. I didn't like it, but that's the way shit used to go, and that's the way shit does go. Anyway, moving on. So they got into all that, and then they had the little meep and them little, ooh, they're ugly, the little, ooh, child. But he's the ones that, one thing said, I want some meatloaf. And they like, okay, so when it started taking long, because they're like trying to fuss back and forth and they want them to leave, child, you know, they're loud and they're freaks. So they just in there, child, they got the holler, meatloaf, meatloaf, meatloaf. I said, oh, shit. So they wanted them out. The strong man comes in to see what's going on. Then he tells Jimmy, this is probably all your idea, this, that, thing, and the other. Ends up being a big old mess. Strong man takes Jimmy outside, beats the shit out of Jimmy, bags him all up, blacks his eye, and all this, which I just thought was so unnecessary. Fuck that strong man. I don't like that strong man just like I don't like that motherfucking clown. Y'all know I like Jimmy Darling. Leave Jimmy Darling alone. Anyway, so, okay. So, like I was saying, anyway, Jimmy goes back. He talks to Elsa. First, Elsa was really upholding the strong man, and she was like, okay, no, it's okay. Everything's all right. You know, she was really undermining what Jimmy was saying. And then, you know, Elsa's a real self-centered bitch now. We've learned that, I think. She's real self-centered. Here, him and Angela Bassett's character, I can't think of her name. I'm sorry. I can't think of her name, guys. Somebody, if you remember, put it down in the comments for me and I'll correct it. But Angela Bassett's character, she was teaching the twins a song, okay? And the main twin was actually, she wasn't getting it. She knew the song, but she said, I don't know the words and stuff. And the other one, her voice is not that good. And she's like, I'm nervous. I'm just a little nervous because I never know. Bitch can't sing. So that's that. Jimmy Darling goes over and tells the other one, the little mean twin, because it's Dot and Bet. But we'll just say mean, the mean one and the nice one, because y'all know who I'm talking about. So he says to the mean one, you know, they both got a crush on Jimmy, right? So she says, just pretend nobody's here but just me. You can just sing it to me. Well, baby, that bitch turned into a songbird, baby, and broke out to singing and carried on and emoting and carried on. I said, well, all right, two-headed bitch. And that was that. So whenever Jimmy was telling Elsa about the flyers that were being put out and stuff, and he wasn't getting through, and she's like, well, this is what we need. We need a strong man, this, that, thing, and the other. Now, when they dug up the policeman, the only thing that was left was his badge. So he told Elsa, he let her know, you know, this is all that's left. You talk about we need a strong man. This is all that's left of that detective that came out there and I did that. You know, so Elsa's like, oh, well, maybe I've underjudged you and this, that, thing, and the other. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Anyway, so they got this badge hanging around. Once he told Elsa, he says, well, how about this then, Elsa? He said, look how he has you booked. Now, you know, last week, you know, when they did the whole show, Elsa actually closes the show because she's the top billing. She's top billing and she sings. Well, he done wrote Elsa out of the show, and the twins are top billing, and she's down at the bottom of the flyer. It says Elsa and the Freaks. And she was like, oh, no, he's got to go. That man's got to go. Because that bitch thinks she's Norma Desmond. That's what that's all about. So anyway, that was that. So the detectives came out and there was a call. Somebody had made a call saying that there was some things they had to say and blah, 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 blah. Turns out Jimmy and Elsa actually went to set up the strong man. Jimmy snuck into their trailer, put the police badge in the trailer, and sent the cops right to it. Well, when the cops go over there, the strong man looks at Jimmy and says, you know what? Setup is not good, and it really doesn't feel good when it's not working out, doesn't it? You're guilty. You got guilt all over your face. Here, the strong man had actually saw Jimmy planting the badge, and what he did was took the badge out of his trailer and put it in Meep's trailer. So then he points them to Meep. They come out, they got Meep, and they got the badge. So it's all fucked up because, you know, Meep is just really small and tiny. It's the one with the little fur coat on that be making all that noise. Meep, 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 meep. And all that, unless he wants some meatloaf. There's meatloaf. But anyway, so they end up taking Meep, throws Meep in jail with all these killers and all this. So, you know, Jimmy's pitiful because Jimmy gets in his feelings. Jimmy's pitiful. It's the middle of the night. He's telling his mother, I'm just going to tell everything because she don't know what done happened. But as he's leaving out of the tent, you see car lights here they take and they throw this bag. The cops was a mess. They throw this bag out there on the ground, and when he opens the bag, it's Meep is in the bag, and he's dead. They literally had killed him down at the jail and dropped his body off. Horrible, 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 horrible. So that's basically where it broke out. And, you know, Jimmy's hollering and screaming and all of his feelings and all that. Pretty much blaming himself. So that's kind of where we ended. It was really good, guys. Really good. And like I said, I was very happy when I seen the comments last week where you guys said that it didn't matter if the video was a little bit long because, you know, there's a lot to cover. So I really appreciate that. I always appreciate you guys' feedback. I do read all of your feedback. Every comment that is written, I definitely read and I try to answer. If I don't say anything but laugh out loud and hey or whatever, I want you guys to know I read all of your comments and I do try to respond back to all of them, but I definitely do read every last comment. Take it very much to heart that you guys actually take the time out that you do to respond to me. I love you guys. But anyway, that's it for this episode. And I will be back with you next week for the Freak Show. And if I missed anything, definitely leave it in the comments. We'll correct it. We're going to do this together. We're going to have a good time with these freaks. And we're going to do this. All right, guys. Later. Bye-bye.